Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Mokete Moetela show with your girl Mokete Moetela. Today we'll be talking about overcoming betrayal. This is actually a presentation that I did for a friend of mine. She was hosting a women's conference, and I was talking about a betrayal, and the subtitle was "Stop Getting Crushed and Start Crushing It." So I decided to share the whole experience and the information with you. So enjoy. So I extracted the story of betrayal from the Bible in Matthew chapter 26, verse 14, going downwards. This is when Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus Christ. Now, you can see the verses on the screen, but what stood out for me from this story was that Judas Iscariot was very close to Jesus. Very close friend, always with him, always cheering him on, all right, always showing some love, Jesus loving him back. Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus for money. Like they always say, everybody has a price. And number 3, Jesus knew who it was, knew it all along, but he did not revenge. He knew, accepted it, and dealt with it his own way, which is very interesting. What happened to Judas afterwards is a subject for another day. Today, I just want to focus on how we ourselves deal, or we should manage betrayal if it happens to us. How do we overcome it? How to make sure that it doesn't crush us? We crush this thing. We overcoming challenges means we have crushed them. We are moving on. We are not swallowed or consumed by the challenges. I'm not going to focus on the person who betrayed you. And in this case, that's why I'm not focusing on Judas Iscariot and what happened to him. All right, we're going to talk about ourselves and develop ourselves and equip ourselves. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the process of diagnosing, not necessarily diagnosing, but digging deeper into the feelings that you have actually surpassed that when betrayal happened. And then we are also going to just look at the do's and don'ts, and then hopefully we will actually be able to reach a breakthrough. Also, if you have great tips that you can share, what happened to you, how you overcame, please share it in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm very, very welcoming to learning new things from you and your experiences. Remember, I do not own the monopoly of wisdom. I'm just here to share what I know, and I want to learn from you as much as I want you to learn from me. All right? You test all the spirits and take what you can use and leave what you cannot use. Okay? The statement, you don't own the wisdom of monopolies, from a friend. Yeah, he said that. He said, girl, you don't own the monopoly of wisdom. Anywho, let's talk about betrayal. What is betrayal? Obvious, I have to start by defining betrayal. So betrayal is a process of just breaking faith or breaking trust, or when you fail to meet expectations or hopes of something, of someone, a violation of trust or confidence. That's a process of betraying a person. And we must bear in mind it can happen to anyone. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. The difference is how we get out of it and how do we look like when we get out of it. It can be caused by a person very close to you. It hardly comes from an enemy, because enemies, we don't put any trust in them. There's no violation of trust or confidence that they're breaking. The people that we love, we trust, the people we put our confidence in is the people around us. That's why they're able to hurt us so much. That's what betrayal is. The process of betrayal, it's happening in that sense or setup. That's why it hardly comes from an enemy, and it's deliberate, according to me, or according to the scriptures where we read. When we reference to Matthew, Judas Iscariot was very sober and alert when he was selling Jesus and making negotiations and accepting the money. When they put a price, he accepted the money. He knew when Jesus spoke about it on the table in the Last Supper, saying, one of you is going to betray me. He just stood up and said, yeah, is it going to be me, Jesus? He knew, he was very deliberate. He knew what he was doing, okay? So it's deliberate. Yes, sometimes we can betray ourselves by the decisions that we make. That's true. And we see that later when we actually regret. Maybe when we don't like where we are, then we regret. We blame other people, and then sometimes there are people who are mature enough to just blame themselves or take the blame and realize maybe they betray themselves by taking the wrong decisions or putting other people's first instead of putting yourself first, giving from what you don't have and stuff like that. Now, effects of betrayal, they include shock, loss and grief, damaged self-esteem and self-doubt, and many other traits or the effects that betrayal has on us. So now, how do we feel when someone betrays us? There's anger, you're disgusted, and there's a feeling of contempt. There's this fear because you don't know how the future will look like. You don't know how the relationship will look like after you've processed this betrayal or after you have dealt with this betrayal. There's always a sense of fear, there's a sense of panic, shock, and fright. There's always sadness and heartache and tears. I always cry. I'm very sensitive. I don't like that about me. But yeah, insecurity and loneliness, they come from betrayal. There's shame. There's also self-blame. Okay, so we know these feelings. We know how we feel when someone betrays us. Okay, and that is where it is crushing us. We feel crushed, but we need to get to a point where now we start crushing and we move, we get out of the situation or the trouble, and we are not Jesus. We will feel pain. There is no record in the Bible that shows that Jesus actually sat down and wept, and that Jesus was very shocked about what Judas did, and Jesus was crying nonstop and actually went and seek counsel on how to deal with this. We are not Jesus. We are here having this physical experience. We are 100% physical. Jesus was God. We are not. We are human beings. We get hurt. We bruise easily. We have feelings and emotions. So we cannot then use the scripture to say we slide it under the carpet. We're not going to deal with it. We're just going to do it like Jesus. No, we are human. We're going to get hurt. What are we going to do after the hurt, after the shock? What are we going to do about the relationship? The person who has hurt you so much and betrayed you. Others, it's repeat offenses. What are you going to do? So, and Jesus knew that it's Judas, and he knew that it's part of the journey or the purpose that he's on this earth for. He was here to die for our sins, and someone had to sell him so that this will can come to pass. This could come to pass so that he can go back to heaven. We are not Jesus. That's why it's not going to be easy for us to just take it like that and say, hey, beat me, crucify me, kill me. It's not easy to do that for us. So what do we do, with all these feelings? One thing that I've realized is that we normally avoid the hurt. Most of Bazalwane, we use that scripture to actually resort to avoidance. Emotional avoidance, it's not good. We think we are protecting ourselves because we don't want to confront the situation or the person, but we are actually damaging ourselves. Sweeping things under the carpet. You see, your heart, there's no carpet. Things are and you are going to die a slow death without even realizing. Resentment, depression. You're going to find yourself being scared of doing things because once I realize, or no, these things, they stem from what happened to me a while back. All right. So, yes, it's painful, but we have to face it. We cannot numb the pain and pretend like it's not there. So, there are questions that you can ask yourself that will lead to helping you to heal, that will lead you to healing. So, the question number 1, I've got 4 questions. The first question is, what am I numbing? What am I numbing? What am I avoiding? What am I pretending not to see? That is question number 2. What am I pretending not to see? There are things that are happening in front of us. People are betraying us. People are behaving weirdly, but we pretend like we don't see it because we don't want to face reality. What does 5 to 10 years look like if you continue to pretend like you don't see this? All right. What does 5 to 10 years look like if you continue to ignore this? The fourth question, what does 5 to 10 years look like if I address this matter? If I decide to solve and face this once and for all, how does my 5 to 10 years look like? These are the questions you sit down and ask yourself. All right. So let me elaborate on the first question. What are you numbing? Excessive television watching, addiction to social media, eating too much, avoiding to do things, avoiding to see people. There's something that you are numbing. What is it? What is it that you are pretending not to see or you don't want to see? When we watch too much TV or always on social media, there are people who they can't. Just assess yourself for it. What am I trying to avoid? Why can't I maybe spend some time alone, maybe an hour or two? There are people who really cannot spend some time alone. Let alone, these are people who in most cases, they can't even pray for an hour. All right? It's like, what are you telling God for an hour? They can't even sit down and have a conversation with God for 30 minutes. The minute they sit down alone and say, I'm praying, and the reality starts to hit and the challenges or whatever that they must deal with creeps in the mind, they switch off everything and then start to, we must find something to distract ourselves. There's something that you are not dealing with, So ask yourself an answer, and you need to face these things. You need to man up. And if you're a woman, you put your big panties on and face the challenges or the things that are in front of you. The things that you are pretending, and you can see this person keeps on betraying you over and over again and coming to apologize, and you pretend like you don't see. How does your 5 to 10 years look like when you keep on behaving like this? Now, that's why I said I'm going to work on you. We are asking you the question. I'm not saying, ask the person, why do you keep on betraying me? Why do you keep on in? These things are happening in you. You are allowing them. You are pretending like they are not happening. Why? And where are you going to end up? Like after 10 years, is that how you're going to look like? And picture the negative. If I address this and stop this now once and for all, how does my 5 to 10 years look like? Is it better? Is it bright? Ask yourself such questions. Now, you need to journal and write these things down. Just take a pen and a journal. Now we use our cell phones to write things and stuff like that, but it's because we want a quick microwave mentality, we want quick things, quick solutions, quick. We don't want to sit down. And you know very well that writing takes long. Ne? That's why we don't do it. And when I write word by word, the thoughts will come into reality and the pain will be real and we will face it. Try to write a painful event on the phone and on the paper. I am advocating for us confronting our fears and our feelings and just dealing with them and to say, I'm facing you today. This is what I don't like. If I do this, this is what I want to see happening. Now, the biggest game changer to overcoming betrayal is the willpower. That is the biggest game changer. Your willingness to face this and to deal with this. You must ask yourself, what are you willing to give up in order to heal? What are you willing to give up in order to find peace? What are you willing to give up to move on and to overcome this betrayal? There must be some sort of willingness. You can go to the best therapist in the world. You can go to support groups. You can listen to motivational shows every day on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and write the books. But if you are not willing to do the work and heal, you are back to square one. We are fine. You are fooling yourself. There are people who actually even like, this shortcuts to healing. You just want shortcut things. You don't want to do the work. You are fooling yourself. That person inside knows the truth. And that person that does not take shortcuts. The pain the solution must go as deep as the pain that was caused or the pain you are feeling. So the inner person who's hurt. If the pain is 1 meters deep, and then when you want to do 500 whatever, because when you are lazy to do the work, or you are pretending like it's not real, look, this part will always be there for you to address, and it will catch up with you in the future. So your willingness, if you're not willing to do anything, to give up some things and to go an extra mile, just forget. Just pause. Don't pretend like when you want to do it. There's this narration that we are healing, we are doing all this, we are working on this. Then it's 5 of us in the group. One of us is pretending and lying here and showing artificial harmony. One of us, the question is it you? Are you doing the real work? If you want to do something different in your life, you must do something different. You can't expect extraordinary results when you are doing ordinary work. Mediocre cannot be celebrated. Potential cannot be celebrated. But actions and you doing the real work will be celebrated. All right. So the sad part about you not wanting to do the work is that you will always carry this energy in the future. In your next relationship, you are going to find yourself behaving in a way that shows that something happened in your past. Either you are too obsessive, you are too protective, you are too insecure, you are too controlling. These are the results of it's a result of who you are because of what's in you. You did not deal with it. Your next boss, just because your female boss side that was crap, now when you get a new boss who is female, you give her attitude, you start building walls, you don't let her in because the previous one betrayed you, think this one will do too. You see, you're bringing that energy into your new relationships. Maybe God is giving you a new slate, wants you to do something good, wants to give you something good and bless you. You're unable to enjoy that because now you are carrying the past into the future. Your next sexual intercourse, if you have been raped, or your boyfriend, even if you're raped by your boyfriend or your husband, you have violated badly and you left the relationship, you carry that energy into the next one, you are giving your partner trouble, you are giving your partner problems. You get my point? Even in the relationship, if there was betrayal, if it's not dealt with properly, and as a team, you're not dealing with the conflicts and everything right, it will show in the future if you did not put in the work. And in relationships, it's very difficult because you are a team, you must work together, and then one is putting in all the effort and the other one is not. There'll be friction, it will show in the future, and that relationship is not going to be successful. All right, so we need to make sure that we work on ourselves and we put in the work. And willingness to do the work shows in the following ways. I'm going to give you some sort of symptoms. You know yourself, you can assess yourself, or the next person, they're wasting your time or not. So unwillingness to do the work shows by self-sabotage. There are people who just self-sabotage themselves. Nobody did anything to them. No one is sabotaging them. They just start things that they don't finish. They're just lazy. They self-sabotage. They don't do what they're supposed to do at that time. You blame others for being in pain for more than 10 years. You cannot do that. That's unwillingness to do the work. If after the 10 years you're still feeling that pain of what they did to you a long time ago, that, like I said, I showed you, like some people, the pain is this deep inside. Like you're a human being, you've got emotions. Painful, it's dark. When now you only do this part, we move on. After 10 years, we're still talking about this thing emotionally, and you really say, it's because this part was not addressed. You did not do the whole thing. You did not work on yourself fully. So if you find yourself still feeling that, you must know that you did not do the work properly. And just be honest with yourself and go do it. All right, so we spoke about blaming others for you being in pain for maybe 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 3 months ago, whatever the period, the truth. Number 3, unwillingness to do the work shows by you not seeking the help, or you seek help but you do not do the required tasks. This happens for people normally when they go for therapy sessions. Maybe you go to a friend to talk to, and your friend says, do 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't. You went there to seek help. You wanted to look like when you want to change, but you don't. That is unwillingness to do the work. You are pretentious because you don't do what they're saying you must do. So you always look like you're looking for help. You even make noise about it when you want to show people you are doing something, but you are not doing the tasks that you are supposed to do. Wow. Then, number 4, lack of commitment to doing the work. I addressed that already. Others, they manipulate the process. Manipulating the process to suit you, or it ended the way when you know when you were wronged and when we are doing the work, all right? And no, you know what, now comes the time where I take responsibility for allowing this person to treat me like this for so long. Or, you know, repeated offenders by betrayal, like 2013, 2014 I so 2021 was a year. So we do all the work, and then instead of me just accepting, or you know what, I allowed it and I need to take responsibility and stop it, so that next time they know that they can't, then what do? I manipulate the process. I don't want to do it, and I got a shortcut. But we are going to end up being sick, because trauma leads to depression and resentment. Time heals a lot of things in life, but it does not heal the pain caused by betrayal. Don't be fooled there. But time does not heal betrayal. It will always be there. It's an intended action that is just sitting there. We have to deal with it. All right. So now we are moving to do's and don'ts, the things that you should not do and you should do when you're dealing with betrayal. Point number 1 of the don'ts, as you can see on the screen, don't pretend to be okay. Number 2, don't dwell excessively on how you were wronged. All right, meaning you're feeling exultant in your self-righteous pain. You're dwelling too much on it. Everywhere you go, it's you and how you were wronged, and telling the whole world about that. You are delaying your time of healing. Don't turn your pain into an ongoing drama. Don't act erratic and scattered with no plan for getting better. Don't mourn your loss forever and not look honestly at the hole inside of you, because when you feel it is too painful or you feel weak. Don't talk to wrong people who will amplify your resentment. You know, the pity party thing. Don't do that. It's delaying you. And actually, people who start pity party, you enjoy it, that you actually not even start waking. You forget, because you're enjoying the attention that you're getting, because they're telling you what you need to hear. Don't idealize the past by obsessing over the bad things or the good things that are gone. You know those people like, nah, I used to give this person in mama tautang couple. You know, this person it's order. All right, they're gone. It's over. All right. Don't let self-pity and regret dominate your state of mind. Now, the next slide there, you can see the do's. Please try to detach yourself from the situation if you can, especially if it's a person that you don't stay with, or just try to take a break. Just try to cool off, try to hibernate a little bit and say, you know what, I need some time off, so that you can actually feel this and try to make sense of what happened. And also make a plan for emotional recovery. Like I said, seek help. Time does not heal betrayal. It will always be there. Take your time off, feel the pain that they've caused you, and grieve over it. All right. You can also get someone to talk to, or contact us at Namadisha Mending Center and find a support group or counseling. Always work towards a tomorrow. Do not dwell in the past. And when self-pity creeps in, because it will, try to find something good to do. Be of service to someone. Offer yourself. Where possible, talk about it. You can confront the person, but it does not guarantee closure. When you talk to the person, maybe it will just be to let them know that you don't like it. You are aware. First of all, you are aware of what they did, and this is what it caused, the pain it caused, and it's leading to this. You do not like it. Don't expect closure. It's not guaranteed that it will happen. Also, we do not need closure in order for us to heal, because it's not going to always be there. The process of wanting closure sometimes delays us. That's all from me, Mokete Moetela, on betrayal. If you've got more tips, please share with us on the comments below. And you can subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, you can contact me if you want us to elaborate on this topic any further. Thank you very much and have a good evening.